Hello and good evening, everybody. You know what it is time for the first day of Where is Our Hour of Sleep? I'm tired. You're tired. We all thought it was going to be a great weekend. Then we got cheated out of an hour. Why can't this happen in the middle of the week? I'm sure we would all be fine if we lost an hour in the middle of the week and had the weekend to fully recuperate. This is madness. And it's on a Sunday? Which means we got to go into work. Oh, come on, bro. It's not good for business. But I can't really complain too much because it's kind of a double whammy, but we will get to that when we get to that because first and foremost, subtle fraudulence, man. You made it another week. Yeah, how you holding up? You doing good?
No, I'm not doing good. I've got a headache, and this hour destroyed me. My body is not real anymore. I have actually dissipated into the ether and into the into the Mako stream, as some would say, this week, because Final Fantasy VII is the game that everybody loves this week, because the remake part came out.
But does it have a Wick Arnold's in it though? That's the real question.
No, I don't think it does.
Well, maybe they should get a McDonald's instead.
All right, let's whoever came up with that needs to stop, because McDowell's is the best McDonald's ripoff to ever exist, and it's the only one that I acknowledge.
Well, that's because you're a good person. That's because you understand the game. Most people, if you say that restaurant's name, that pristine establishment's name, with one of the finest staffs of all time in cinema, fiction, or real life, yes, even better than you, Chick-fil-A. Even better. There's some people who don't even know what that is.
It's insane, right?
Some
McDonald's
people
stole their whole swag, man. McDonald's got the Big Mac, but they got the Big Mick. Like, come on, man. You can't.
Fucking clowns. Fucking clowns, the lot of them.
Look, Coming to America 2 may have not been good, but Coming to America 1 is still legendary. Let's never forget that.
I saw the sequel, and I'm not gonna lie to you, big dog. I be forgetting that I saw it until you say it, and then I go, that was a film. It shouldn't have been, but it was, and we unfortunately have to live with it every single day. I hate it.
Listen, that is a good test to the fact that, like, making a sequel to something that people liked isn't always a good idea, especially if it comes like years and years later. Like, sometimes you can just appreciate the good thing and then just, keep watching that. Like, if you liked it, keep watching that instead of being like, damn, I wish there was more. Like, no, they finished that the first time, so they don't need more.
Nah, man, we need 637 remakes. We need 400,000 reboots. Then we got to be like, hey. We don't want to call it a reboot, and it's not a remake. It's a requel. It's a remake, but it's also a sequel series, which then will get its own culture of spinoffs. Like, no, we don't need it.
Funny thing, people are saying that that's what Final Fantasy VII Remake is. It's actually a requel.
Like I said, you could do fine requels. But you can also do what most people do, and it's like, shoot me, bro. Shoot me. I don't need to see a Netflix adaptation. I don't need to see a Netflix sequel series. I don't need to see Coming to Hulu, King of the Hill reboot again. It's like, what do you mean again? You didn't even do it the first time. What is this? I also don't like it when... Okay, this is something that's kind of rare, but I forget the name of the show. But you remember Regular Show?
Yep.
And then the guy was like, all right, we're not doing Regular Show anymore, but now I could do a more adult-themed version of it. Do you remember that show?
Close Enough.
Yeah, Close Enough. Stuff like that can be okay, but I think it does rely kind of on Regular Show having won you over.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same style. The creator is the voice of the main character, same as Regular Show, because he's the voice of Mordecai. But right. It's like taking Regular Show and turning it into like a more adult sort of thing. Like the concept of it is, an actual like human thing, an actual adult thing, where it's like two parents and their child trying to like figure out how to raise their child and like live life while having roommates and stuff, and living the life that they live. But you know, there's some more like adult adult concepts in there. There's some, you know, cursing in there every once in a while, but like, yeah, for the most part, it's the same as regular show. And it didn't really catch on because they couldn't find a network to actually keep it. They found HBO Max. They got 2 seasons out, and then HBO was like, let's get rid of everything that people like, or let's get rid of every show that may not be as liked as we thought, or whatever, so that we could put more 90 Day Fiance shows on there.
Look,
Yeah, isn't that great?
I see there in the chat that someone said that they're getting a Halloween TV series that is another reboot. Stop.
Mhm.
Stop.
Yes.
Stop.
They
I'm
just
sick of
recently
it.
said
I'm sick.
that
Halloween ended. Let it go.
Evil dies tonight.
Evil lives forever. That's what it's telling me. We ain't never gonna get rid of this motherfucker, bro.
They like recently announced that that series was gonna that they're making a series, which I didn't even know. Like, that's a wild concept. Halloween should not be a TV series. You should have learned from what is it, Freddy's series, Nightmare on Elm Street. You know, you should have learned from that. But like, they said that it's gonna be a reimagining of the entire Halloween arc. So another
So how
reboot.
the fuck do you manage that?
I don't know. I don't know. You had original Halloween, and then you had Halloween 4, which was like technically supposed to be like a new reboot sort of thing of like, hey, what if we just got like a new killer altogether? And then they're like, oh fuck,
Nobody wants that
like
shit.
That. Yeah. So they then made was it Halloween Resurrection, which okay.
All right.
Then there was the Rob Zombie movies.
Shout out to Halloween H2O.
Oh yeah, Halloween H2O.
Busta Rhymes, let's go.
Where Busta Rhymes got to like beat the shit out of Michael Myers. And in the beginning of the movie, Laurie Strode gets murdered. Like, okay, sure. And then there was the recent like trilogy, which just kind of like ignored most of the movies and decided they were going to continue from a certain point and then actually like finish the whole series. And Laurie Strode got to like beat the shit out of Michael Myers.
And she got her salty run back.
Yeah, she got her salty run back. And they like kind of recontextualized her relationship with him, which was interesting up until it just stopped being interesting.
Look, it could be worse. It could be worse. It could be Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh God,
bro! Not the Tesla that locks from the inside. No,
he's murdered my friend, and I'm stuck in this car. I have to go
going
home.
8 miles per hour. Nothing I can do.
Like, what the fuck? Oh man, listen. When I saw the end of I forget which Halloween movie it was, the like of the recent trilogy or whatever. I actually don't remember the names of those movies now, besides Halloween Ends. But
right,
the one where the townspeople was the focus on it, and then you had the guy with the gun. Like everybody had some kind of like, you know, weapon to physically like bludgeon him to death or whatever. And man with gun decides to go this close to him, like, now I'm gonna shoot my gun. Oh no! It was like,
was that Halloween Kills? I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I think it was Halloween Kills.
But nah, man, look. Between that, the other thing that I can't stand is when someone comes to this chopping block with a series that they want to take 8, 9 seasons, knowing damn well the sauce and the material they got is like interesting for 2.
Look,
and then it gets canceled by season 3, bro. Like you're in the middle of an arc. And it's like, yeah, there's just no more show, big dog. Sorry. We did not get renewed.
Listen, Sense8, oh my God, Santa Clarita Diet, oh man, I guess Firefly is in there too. Like there are so many shows that go in there where it's like the show actually, you know, the show itself is pretty good, but it could have ended in like 2 seasons. But you know, they're like, no, make more.
We'll be around forever. Okay.
Yeah. Big businessman comes in and is like, what the fuck is it? Cancel that. I don't think people are going to watch a show about that. And people come out and they're like, hey, I was watching it. What are you talking about? Or in David Zaslav's, you know, stream of things, it's just like, will it make me money if we get rid of it? All right, get rid of it right now.
It may not
People are
make you
watching
money,
it.
but it might save you money.
Yeah.
Do it. Get rid of it. Thank you. And you look, I know that some people may have a soft spot for certain shows. Okay. Because we have to get to something because there's something we want to get off our chest. But like, how many of you are parents? How many of you have your kids of your own that are like, let's just say in between the ages of 7 and 14? When they come home, or maybe if you're in that age group yourself, watching this podcast for whatever reason, because I know half of y'all don't read the terms and conditions of this 18 plus stream, so y'all gonna do whatever the fuck y'all want anyway. But when y'all get home, is there like a program on the telly that y'all watch religiously? Like y'all are ready to go, like y'all get through the door, kicking it open like SWAT, boom, sit down, and be like, yes, I like this program. Because for us, when we got home, whether it was elementary school, middle school, high school, we had a thing called Toonami. We had at least 6 different shows to choose from, or we could just watch them all together in a 3-hour marathon. Because I know now the whole thing is streaming services, but half of the stuff on streaming services, most people don't even watch until someone else tells them, hey, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, there were so many shows, like, if it was up to streaming services, for me, there are some shows I would have looked at, like, the cover of it. I'd have never watched Doug. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm keeping it a beat. That would have never happened. I probably wouldn't watch Doug.
Someone would have played the theme for you, and you would have been like, I have to watch this show because that shit was straight fire, man. What are you talking about?
Come on, man. Look, when they showed me that man Smash Adams, I said, yeah, James Bond's a fraud. That's him. Then you had Quail Man. But like Rocko's Modern Life, I may not have gotten around to that. You know, there's some shows that streaming services may not have sold me. But when they were all on cable, you had like an open gourmet, open buffet. Everything comes through, and sometimes you're like, ooh, I don't really like the show that come on at 7 o'clock. That's when I'll do my homework. You just block off the time that way. And look, I'm saying this because I do know that a lot of houses still had cable. I know a lot of people have cut the cord, but a lot of people are still keeping them cable companies strong. I know some of y'all have kids that came home and your options were watch 3 hours of Teen Titans Go, watch whatever because they have like this weird live action block on Nickelodeon now. I don't even know if Nickelodeon really got cartoons like that besides SpongeBob and some of the older stuff that's like on season 17 now. I've never been a Disney kid as far outside of their movies, so I don't know what Disney Channel's got.
You talking about now, or you talking about like in general?
I'm talking about like in like the last 5 years. Like I don't know what they've been serving up because I know Teen Titans Go was running Cartoon Network for the longest time, almost 95% of their runtime, and then they would just sprinkle in like a couple episodes of, oh, Steven Universe is doing a new season right now. Yeah, dash that in there. Hold on. New Scooby-Doo thing? Yeah, just sprinkle that in there. They just kind of just drop it over like it's like a little bit of a glaze on a donut.
Hey,
Teen
don't
Titans
forget
Go
that they
was
have
a donut.
Toonami, for their anime.
Yeah, but that's like Saturday at midnight, and you get like one episode that come on at like 2:30 a.m. And if you miss it, now you got to go to a streaming service, buy a DVD, pirate it, or do something where it's just all the other episodes are now available. So why would you need to watch it on cable? You know?
Yeah, that's true. Cable shouldn't exist. Well, let me not say cable shouldn't exist anymore because we all have grandparents, who watch TV.
They have on-demand services and stuff like that where you could probably watch a couple episodes in bulk, but usually it'll be like, oh man, they got insert episodes here. And then you realize it's like a random 12 episodes from 2 different seasons, like the last 6 episodes of season 5, the first 6 episodes of season 6, and then they got like little sprinkles of like seasons 1 through 5, but nothing concrete enough for you to get a full semblance of the plot. That's how most shows are when you look at like the on-demand section of cable, because it's usually not the entire library of whatever the show it is or whatever catalog of the show. It's just, here's the stuff that came out somewhat recently. If you want to see the new stuff, get the subscription service that is a paywall behind. Like if you were to look up King of the Hill on Xfinity anyway, I would say out of like the 13 seasons, you could probably find a good selection of episodes from like 3 of them. And no, they're not 3 seasons in order. And sometimes it doesn't even have all the episodes from all the season.
Very true.
So cable's kind of wishy-washy because, like I said, cable's not really a big thing in my house, but you know, when you grew up with it for so long, it's kind of just there. It's an option. Especially because now cable packages are now coming with subscription services bundled in. So it's like now you have cable, and then you get Disney Plus, Peacock, Netflix, Hulu, Stars, HBO Max, and I guess Warner Brothers Discovery if you care about that. But but hey, you know, it is what it is.
Well, Warner Brothers Discovery is now HBO Max, you know. So
yeah, you know what? You're right. You're right. Yep. Damn, you got me again, Barn. Hooked.
There's some other big company that's trying to like buy them out too, and I'm just like,
when does it end?
To these things, yeah.
Because I know some people are saying that Warner Brothers was removing all the like, they're gonna delist all the Adult Swim games from Steam because monetarily speaking, things may not necessarily. They may not want to pay those royalties, no matter how small they might be. Because let's be honest, who was out here trying to play the Aqua Teen Hunger Force game? If y'all even remember that it even came out, that game is old, by the way.
Listen, we've got a real life example of what that kind of behavior does to society. Because Rooster Teeth got shut down because they couldn't sell it to anybody. So,
you know what's wild about that though?
What?
The fact that like Rooster Teeth, right, being its own entity at one point, gets bought by Warner Bros. Discovery. Now they got to carve it up and dissect it. Like, how do you sell Red vs. Blue outside of to Microsoft? Like, I don't even know how you... Like, how is that a property that you can move? Because that's, like, surgically conjoined, not just at the hip, but at the brain to whatever Microsoft is doing with 343 Industries' Halo. Which, in and of itself, is already a whole can of worms that's not... It's not really good. And the original creator of it, he died years ago. So the stuff that they were making, even in remotely recent history, has been stuff that's been based off of not the original creator's vision in the first place. And then to conflate all that, you got stuff like Ruby had like partnerships with the Justice League. So if they're like, how you gonna move Ruby? And apparently there was a show that I thought was just like a meme on Twitter. I didn't know it was a real show. It looks like a mech show. I forget what it's called. It's like its own original series. It's a CG show.
Yeah, you lost me on that one.
It's like, is it Dreadlock? Deadlock?
Redlock. That sounds familiar. That does sound familiar. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sure somebody in the comment section of the chat knows, but it's some show, and I'm like, Genlock. There it is. I found it. It's Genlock.
That's a Rooster Teeth show? I
yeah.
It was like,
nope. That was Rooster Teeth. That was a Rooster Teeth joint. I thought it was just like one of those memes, and I was like, okay, someone tried to make a 3D Young Justice, and I just kind of moved on in my brain.
That show came on TV.
Oh, well. Hey, shout out Rooster Teeth.
Yeah, like, they got it going, but like, goddamn, like they really couldn't, they couldn't sell that to anybody. Look, I don't think Warner Bros. Actually tried to sell it because they just straight up like it doesn't make sense. There are tons of people out there who would buy these things for something.
What's the thing?
They're like, we gotta shut it down.
But here's the thing: like Rooster Teeth, in and of itself, is kind of what's the best way to word it? It's kind of if you're going to divvy its properties up, how much are the properties worth on their own without the teams that put them together?
Well, here's the thing. Rooster Teeth used to be its own thing, so it's really fucked up that Warner Bros. Could buy the actual like group, the company, whatever you call it,
And then lay a fuck ton of them off.
Yeah, then just like say we're shutting it all down. Like you could just release them. Just say, hey, you're your own company again. We just don't own you anymore. Make your own shit, but we're not going to fund it or whatever. That would be infinitely better than just being like, nah, we're shutting it all down.
But did you see the clip that was going around where they were? It was one of the podcasts that Rooster Teeth does, and man was up there. He was going through it, man. He said, we thought about not doing the podcasts. We thought about just acting like it didn't happen, but nah, we had to do it because it wouldn't be right to just act like 50 people just don't have jobs this morning. They got up this morning because the announcements were made like super late. There are some people who probably hopped in the shower, were singing their favorite song, was cutting up, getting clean, sat down, ready for the Zoom call that never came. Some of them were probably getting ready to commute. Then all of a sudden they heard the news, checked their email, saw they had the severance paper right there waiting. Your talents will no longer be needed here at the building. You can collect your things, but then get out. Like that's not.
This is the second.
It's not a good feeling.
This is like the second time in the past, like maybe like 2 or 3 weeks that something like this happened. Because YouTube Music had the same thing, where like there's a video clip of a guy who was like talking to his like local government about something related to YouTube Music or like something related to like their policies or whatever. And one of his coworkers just came up to him and was like, yeah, they let us all go, or we don't have a job anymore. He's like, and now I have been informed that I don't even have a job anymore. And it's like, oh, god damn.
Imagine doing nothing but your job the way you're supposed to do your job, and you get informed while you're on the clock that there are no more jobs.
That's insane. It's like, first off, going postal is it was named a thing because of a similar situation. No, like they told the post office worker like, yeah, you don't have a job anymore. He still had to deliver mail. It was like, you know what, fuck these people, and like showed up and went nuts. You don't think maybe you should at least let the people go home before you decide to be like, yeah, you don't work here anymore? Like, nah. Like, okay.
I mean, like you should, but you gotta understand the people who are in charge in big business, they do not care. Like they see you like chess pieces, and I'm not talking about your knights. I'm not talking about the rook, the bishop. Definitely not talking about the king and queen. You're not royalty. You are pawn, sacrificial. Your attendance, while mandatory, non-negotiable, is also very much replaceable. They do not care. Because in their mind, they have trained themselves up to believe the moment I start caring about you people as individuals is the moment I lose all my leverage.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't have leverage, how can I make you work harder? I can't. The CEOs are right up there with landlords, bro. Oh, what's the when you flush your toilet, even more brown water comes out to replace it. Oh, when you're taking a shower, randomly your floor just starts getting all soppy wet, and the tenant below you, their ceiling's just a little bit leaky. I'll get to it when I get to it. But that rent, it better be there on the first, or your ass is hot. Little insane.
Mm-hmm.
And
100%.
I mean, you've seen it if any of you have like a big boy job or a big girl job, with like an actual career. There are definitely times where you'll be doing your work and you'll be working hard. You'll be meeting all of your deadlines. You'll be meeting every goal. Any sort of obstacle or problem that you have to circumvent that everyone else is like, wallahi, the company's finished. And you find a way to circumvent the issue, solve the issue, and make sure that it can't happen in the future. That's cool and all. You could have an undefeated, undisputed 100% track record. I mean, you could be firing on all cylinders for years. Hell, for a decade. And at some point, Someone in that company is going to do something that's going to affect the company in such a way they got to start thinking about making some budget cuts. And you, even though you think you've accrued and you've built up this rapport with the company and that you're untouchable, you'll be one of the first people with that letter saying, "Hey, don't even come in tomorrow, big dog. Your check will be in the mail. We're glad to have you here at this company, and we wish you the best on your future endeavors."
Glad to have you, but you're fired.
If there's anything that we could do for you in this troubling times, be sure to give somebody else a call.
Listen, man, the state of the state of the world is kind of abysmal right now. Like we're in a country where we're starting to see what late stage capitalism does to people, because you have things like what is it? I think during COVID, there were some trash people. There's some garbage men who are just like, I'm just not going to do this shit anymore. Yo, they told me that if I want to make more money, I need to work harder, but I'm working super hard at this job, and they don't want to give me money. So let me just get one of those other jobs where my health is not at risk, and I could make way more money, since they tell me that I could do that and I can get the skills to do that. And then people were like, but who's gonna pick up my trash on Thursday? What's going on over here? I can't, and Tucker calls, what's going on in the world today? When trash men don't want to pick up trash anymore, they're going after these big boy jobs, as some would say. It's absolutely ridiculous. And we have to blame the immigrants.
Like, I don't know. Like that aspect of the political zeitgeist that's going on right now is kind of interesting, because you'll have somebody say, you need to pull yourself up from your bootstraps. There are no handouts. You want a big boy job? You get educated. You want a big boy job? You go out there and you make connections. You network. You work your ass off to be better, not just for you, but for the future of your family and your bloodline. You do what you need to do to take care of your own best interest. And if that means doubling down and betting on yourself and pushing forward, that's what you do. Not like that. Whoa. What garbage people. You're not allowed to do that. Whoa. Teacher that's barely getting paid more than minimum wage. Hey. No, you go back with them badass baby's kids. No, not you. Hey, whoa. Service worker. Who's gonna wait at me at restaurant? You work for $2.50 an hour, no tip. No, get back in there, no tip. I don't tip. I don't believe in tip culture. Although it is crazy, because I made a tweet about this. I've seen a lot of people who are loud and proud about being 10 toes down, standing on business about being anti-tip culture. But the moment they do anything online that doesn't require any monetary investment, they have no problem. She'll get my Patreon. Look at my Ko-Fi. Hey, I got an Amazon wish list. Yeah, I don't even want the money. Just skip the middleman. Go ahead and buy the item. Hey, catch me on Throne. Hey, look down here. I got a Ko-Fi link. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Please. Matter of fact, we can skip the middleman on money management. Here's my Venmo right here. Cash out. I got a PayPal. Any of y'all still use Stripe? Like, come on, bro.
Those people, listen. Yeah, there's a weird concept of like people being very half in on a lot of these movements that they want to be a part of like, oh, I'm anti-tip culture. It's like, oh, so you're for support of making sure that all the service workers get like at least a very livable wage as a minimum wage, and that they don't get paid like $2 an hour for being a waiter, because tips will supplement their income.
Well, look,
and they're like, huh?
Look, here's the thing. Low fast food restaurants, they can get away with that. Paying their people a living wage, obviously.
Right.
5-star restaurants and like super upper echelon restaurants, they also could get away with it. But them all-you-can-eat buffets and the mid-tier restaurants? Oh, that menu's getting cut. You think you about to get that big thing with 6 pages? Nah, man, they're going to give you a pamphlet.
Yep.
It's going to be a little tiny brochure, like one of the things when you buy a new product. It'll be no bigger than this pack of wet wipes. That's what you gonna get. You're like, where's the rest of the menu? Oh, and then
You gotta pay for it.
The server's gonna look you dead in the eyes and be like, oh, the rest of it's on the back. But these are the drinks. Yeah. If they have to actually pay for their servers, the quality of service will probably be better, number one. Number two, what they're able to offer you and the quality of what they're able to offer you, unless they're going to blow the budget, they got to take that money that they're not paying the servers and they got to take that money from somewhere else. Sometimes that's acquiring the food. Sometimes that's getting the food shipped. You may not know what you're eating. It may say steak. Might be a mistake. That's what it might be. Like, it's gonna suck. Because especially like a restaurant like Golden Corral, oh, they would go out of business if they had to pay their servers the right way.
Well, some of those closed up around here, so maybe they're on their way to closing that, getting out of business. So
foreclosure for sure. And I don't know, because it's kind of weird because like some restaurants actually pay their people normal. Now I find out that some of these are just Chinese restaurants, and you find out that a lot of them are hiring people through, oh, I know them. I'm good friends with their family. And it's like, hiring family friends, that's just kind of how some of these businesses run. Some businesses, however, especially like big chains, nah, it's not going well. And due to the fact that tip culture is kind of, out there, we're at a point now where you can go to the supermarket, do all your own shopping, get all your own groceries, walk up to the counter, and the person will be like, would you like to leave a tip? I'm sorry. I scanned most of these. What do you mean? What do you mean? It's supposed to be a convenience store. How did you and your presence convenience me? I kept the light on for you? All right. I'm out of here, Jim. Like in Starbucks, there's some times where you watch them. They never prepared anything for you. They just ran the register. Which is cool. Fine. No problem with that. But you ordered something simple. We ain't talking about they had to go get 16 different ingredients, put them in some amalgamation in a cup, and then give it to you. Just something simple. They turned that keyboard around and said, brother, what I ordered was $2.15. You want a quarter? Is that what that's where we're at right now?
it also becomes a question of who's getting the tip.
Are y'all splitting this with the staff? Is the tip going to the person who made the drink? How does this work? Because for some places, it is aggregate to the staff. To some places, it's whoever's running the register. And it's like, well, I don't really feel good about giving the person who just pushed a picture extra money when somebody actually back there is doing the labor. Because let's be honest, there are some people back there who are like in them all-you-can-eat buffets. They still got cooks. There's still people back there cooking in that kitchen. And in an all-you-can-eat buffet, keep in mind, I get up and get my own food. It's not served to me. I go get it. I do the fetch quest. Who am I tipping? Why am I tip me? But, it is what it is.
Yeah. It's so it's so annoying that like
hold on, someone said something in the chat that is actually really true. So sometimes if you swipe like a card, the business gets the 20%, which means a lot of the employees, they will never see a dime.
Yep.
This is something that also happens online because like if you order through like PayPal gets a cut. Stripe gets a cut. If you own an actual business, a lot of these places where you can, obviously use them as middlemen, they take a cut. And when there's a chargeback that you have to eat, the seller has to eat, PayPal just goes, hey, we already got our cut. We rinsed our hands of it. That's on you and the customer. Y'all figure it out. So where the money goes isn't necessarily just a who did you hand it to type of situation. And some people would rather you pay cash because you can watch the money go in somebody's hands. Because let's be honest, we've all seen the tip jar at the front. And we've seen people clock out and the tip jar is still there and a new shift comes in. It's like, so what if your service was dog water? Do you still get a piece of the tip jar because you were just on site that day? But once again, I digress.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, tip culture is weird for sure. And there are definitely people who take advantage of it and some bad faith actors out there. But don't sit up here and say that you're against tipping and then you try to make all of your online digital income tip related. And it's like, well, what do? I play Apex Legends. Oh. And you want to be financially compensated for that. Are you winning tournaments? No. Are you entering tournaments? No. Then why should we tip you? Well, no one has to tip. It's just something that I would like. And it's like, oh, just something you would like. Imagine that. That's all I'm saying. Just think about that. I play
Heaven
the Fortnite.
forbid there's a system in place where, maybe, just maybe, it's easier for you to be like, hey, if you want to give to this person, go ahead and do that. But everything else that will make sure that the society you live in will make sure that you are at the bare minimum, which is alive. Like, holy shit, alive and able to live a stable life to continue to contribute to society. Like, what's the Rick and Morty meme? What are you doing, Morty? Don't just try to fix it. Buy another one. Consume.
More. But speaking of more, we need to talk about the GOAT, the legend, him, one of the greatest mangakas of all time, Akira Toriyama. I don't know how many of you had their life touched by Dragon Ball in any shape, form, or format firsthand. But I can tell you right now, Akira Toriyama's work overall, whether it's Dragon Ball, Arale, etc., it's touched you, at least secondhand. Have you ever played Mario? Because if you have, brother, it's touched you. Have you ever gone out and seen anybody go remotely near Super? If you have, they touched your brother. If you're someone who's watched any modern day shonen, especially one about a boy wearing orange, who finds himself going from just fighting regular humans and regular people to fighting aliens from space, finding his own ninja way, you were touched. You were blessed. Toriyama's influence is insane, okay? I don't think there's a single soul over the age of 8 who you could show a picture of Goku to and they don't know who that is. Come on, Macy's Day Parade. That's reserved for multi-diamond level Hall of Famers.
Yep.
Goku got a float. Naruto ain't got no goddamn float.
I mean, maybe he does now.
Nah, he's still working on it. We got to see how that Boruto thing turn out.
Oh God. Well,
like there's so many things in media. Like people our age, whether you were on the spectrum, off the spectrum, near the spectrum, or spectrum adjacent, at some point you put these two wrists together and you said the words. Say it with me now. Me. You know the bit. You know this one. Ha. Me. Ha. And then you let it rip. You've done it. If you don't want to admit that you did it, that's fine. But the only people who I believe didn't do it are double amputees. They didn't have hands. Those are the only people I can see that didn't do it. You may be saying, but what if you only got one hand? Teen Gohan, Super Saiyan 2. You don't need both hands. You can hit him with one. We've seen it. His basis covered. And I remember when I was a knee high, when I was a chest high, and even when I was a grown man, I would be watching. I'd come home off that yellow cheddar bus, drop the book bag off. Dragon Ball was right there before me. Whether we're talking he's fighting Tao Pai Pai, whether we got to watch Oolong wishing for panties, whether we got to watch, damn, Yamcha, how'd you fumble the baddie who's rich? For shame. For shame. You call yourself a dog. For shame. Whether it's the vegetable Cyberman showing up and saying, hey, Yamcha, we're going to pack you up on this one. Whether we had to watch Tien get disarmed by Nappa. Whether it was the fact that, hey, Piccolo may not be winning any Father of the Year awards, but he wasn't just going to let Gohan go out sad. Put his life on the line, died. You go all the way from Saiyan Saga all the way up to, hell, even the end of Super. There have been cities shutting down just to air episodes. There have been people who have been dying to see not only more games, more movies, just more Dragon Ball media in general. Like, this stuff means stuff to people. There are people from all different cultures who got Dragon Ball themed restaurants. They ain't got nothing to do with serving no Dragon Balls.
Listen, Mexico had a funeral, a monumental event. All right. So it touches far and wide. All right. When the finale of the most recent season of Dragon Ball Super came out, it was like the Super Bowl over there. All right. So it's far and wide.
They shut down city blocks just to put out a big industrial sized projector so you could just pull up and watch the Tournament of Power. It was real to them.
It was real to them. And you know, one of the greatest, most classic videos on the internet to this day is of someone who really thought it was all real and just ignored the part of the lore where you have to be a Saiyan to go Super Saiyan. That's right, guys. My name is Jaden, and I'm Super Saiyan. Like,
hey, that honestly, the fact that he didn't get at least one acting role off that is so sad.
I really wonder where that guy is now. You know, if there's any lore masters that know anything about that, please, you know, comment whatever the hell is going on with that guy.
We need a buddy cop double feature with him and the Sonic kid that was like, you freaking fricks. We need them. Buddy cop film.
No, we don't need to do that. See, you're doing it now. You're being the guy in the room that's giving the bad ideas. And then the marketing guy goes, hey, yeah, that sounds really great.
No, it's a suit. It's taking me over. Hello. I'm here as a marketing genius, and I'm here to solve all of your financial problems today. But, you know, it's... He touched so many lives on a day-to-day basis. Mm-hmm. All over the world. I don't think there's a single member of any culture that looks at Dragon Ball and in a way that's negative. Because that was a story. I know a lot of y'all will say Dragon Ball Super has turned into the Goku Vegeta if you're not a Saiyan get in the back of the line show. But the majority of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z's entire runtime is about the strength of your friends coming together, pooling your resources. When one of us is down, we're all down. But when one of us is up, we all looking up to get what we want to be, just like you, big dog. No one wants to feel left behind, and the people at top ain't going to leave them behind. The entirety of the show. There have been 80% of Dragon Ball's runtime. Krillin knew the only thing that he was going to get was a broken neck, impaled, exploded, dead in some capacity. But he still pulled up, though.
And Tien he became one of the most important people in the entire crew by deciding, no, guys, the android deserves to live because I want to bang her. You know, like as simple as that.
Hey, look, my man said, hey, it's rated 18. It's a real doll. I'm in there. I want no smoke. I ain't got no nose, but I do have an appendage that do work. So excuse me. And he did whatever he needed to do. Now, that being said, if you want to just talk about the first 5 episodes, I think Raditz was only there for like 5 or 6 episodes, but Raditz shows up, says, first of all, I'm kidnapping your boy. We splitting. And if you keep messing around, we gonna blow up this planet when we get back. You think about that. And the very first person he goes to is, look, Krillin, look, I'm not gonna lie. You're not strong enough right now, but I need you to stay up. You just tried to fight him. We saw how that went. You got kicked into the side of the house. Hey, yo, Piccolo, I know we don't get along, but you saw what we're talking about. This ain't no regular threat. And they work together. And without some long conversation about, oh yeah, you know, you got to take care of my boy. You got to get him right. What does Piccolo do? Nah, I saw the potential in you. And off that alone, I got to make sure that you're ready for when they come here. Not just for our sake, even though, you know, technically you might be our best chance. But come on, bro. They killed your father, bro.
Mind you, Piccolo is the original Vegeta. But people don't want to remember that. Because,
well, you got to remember, a lot of them didn't watch Dragon Ball. The very first characters they saw were the people on Kame House and Raditz.
Yep.
Those were some of the first people they saw because, to my knowledge, like I said, I'm a 90s kid. Maybe there's some 80s stuff that I don't know about. But to a lot of us, a lot of people's first interaction with Dragon Ball, the IP, was Dragon Ball Z 4:30 p.m. after the episode of Sailor Moon on Toonami, right before Tenchi Muyo came on at 5. That was the first thing we saw. Now, luckily for me, when I was like 8 or 9, I got to see some Dragon Ball, and I was like, oh, this is cool too. So I kind of got to watch a little bit of both during that time. However, most people, they know about Z and Super. When you talk to them they talk about Dragon Ball like how like kids today talk about Michael Jordan. Like they know it existed, but they never saw it. So therefore, it doesn't matter to them. Like the concept of Tien ever beating Goku is so far-fetched to a lot of people who watch the current product that they're just like, that didn't happen. Like to them, that's a myth.
Until they saw that episode where Tien came on the field and he's like, look, my brothers need time. I'm going to give them time. And then he just literally almost killed himself just to keep Cell subdued, which it showed exactly where the power scale, like how the power scaling works. You may not be able to kill that guy, but you can definitely beat that guy to a point where he's going to have a hard time. So,
well, look, so here's the thing about Dragon Ball Z. And like when they introduced power levels as a concept, power levels, I would say all the way up to the Cell Saga kind of mattered. Because at some point, maybe we could say late Cell Saga, but I want to say it was definitely the Buu Saga where they really niched it home that this isn't a thing anymore. But outside of the Buu Saga, it was shown that most of these creatures, aliens, villains, they don't understand power levels at all. They just know they have immense strength. When it comes to being able to ascertain the nuances between power levels and the change in power, they didn't really understand that. They just had, we have strong attack, stronger attack, strongest attack, finishing move. That's about all the villains were able to process it. They didn't understand the concept of a human or Saiyan or anybody who, you know, was truly battle experienced and battle tested would have, this is my base power level, but I can channel certain techniques together and chain them together into which a way it raises my battle power.
And also, there was the fact that humans were the ones that figured out, I don't have to show my actual super limit, whatever, all the time. I can actually just have, hey, I'm at 10 right now, you know? My power level is at 10, and that's what I do when I'm doing stuff. And when I want to actually go hard, I'm going to take that 10 and turn it into 10,000, you know? And then Goku also was like, what if we take it a step further? Now that I've figured out I've got this new form, if we just learn how to do regular shit in this new form so that we can then have mastery over it and actually control our energy flow so that we're not wasting energy using this form, you know? And it was like, these are little things that get lost amongst all the people who are just like, they just power up.
Yeah, because like, so when you're talking about like actual tangible numbers, like couple million being like the max, it's much easier to quantify. Okay, this is a 10x boost. This technique is, sure, it may not be the strongest, but when it's a destructo disc, it's compressed, it's condensed, so it's real sharp. So even though Krillin is significantly weaker than Nappa, he can spawn something that could really mess Nappa up. Hell,
And can
that shit
kill
cut Frieza.
anybody. Let's stop right here because this is some lore that Toriyama forgot he put in his show. Destructo Disc was supposed to be able to what is it? Is it Tianton? I think it was
Yeah,
the actual like
or
Japanese name. But
Kienzan, I
like
think. Yeah,
it's supposed to be able to cut through literally anything.
not
And
Cell's neck though.
after Frieza Saga, he forgot, and then it just touched Cell and it was like, huh?
Well, here's the thing.
Like, oh,
At
okay.
some point, that's why I said late Cell Saga, it just became to a point to where it just seemed like bigger number is just bigger number. That like if you are not the bigger number, you can't win.
Right. Like if a human just has an ability they can do that can just kill this thing instantly, then it's not fun. So let's just like make it so that that's not something to worry about. Which sucks because in the lore of the show, it seems like only the humans are the ones that have come up with like techniques that are so much better than their actual abilities that it can like transcend their own limits and just kill anything. Tien's well, first off, Tien's multiform is a concept that's interesting. And then Tri-Beam, obviously, because of the scene where he's like subduing level 2 Cell, and then Krillin having Destructo Disc, being able to like literally cut through anything with something, even though he himself can't do that kind of shit. Like the Kamehameha wave, like that too. Like Roshi just came up with that sometime. Like, come on, man. The freaking containment wave, which is like ancient monks or whatever, came up with this technique that can seal literally anything, no matter how powerful they are, in a jar. It's like all those things. Humans invented them, and humans were supposedly like the weakest of the races there, and Saiyans are the strongest. Which,
because I mean, even when you come down to Saiyan techniques and you look at something like Vegeta's Gallic Gun has killed like Jobber 5.
yep.
Big Bang Attack killed Android 19. I think that's the only thing it ever killed.
Maybe. Maybe.
Final Explosion killed himself and eliminated Topo from the Tournament of Power. That great. Like, his techniques don't have a good track record. But the stuff that Goku has taken from King Kai, Kame House, the Turtle Hermit School from Master Roshi, that stuff has track records.
Yep.
The Tri-Beam at least has feats. It at least did things that moved the plot forward. The only person who I think who is human, who has a technique that didn't really do too much, Chaosu's self-destruct.
Come on, man. Where do you think Vegeta got it from? Come on.
It's just big final. It's just small final explosion. I got you. My fault.
Look, what else did Chaosu do? I don't remember Chaosu in Dragon Ball, but
I remember he floated, and I remember the scene where someone was trying to hold Chaosu down, and Chaosu just said, "I'm afloat. You can't hold me here." And the dude was like, "Stay down!" And that blank expression that Chaozu had. Have you ever seen Chaozu without the red stuff on his cheeks? That shit is horrifying.
Yeah. I mean, look, Dragon Ball made it so that Nazis and the concept of Nazism is just casually like in there, and they get defeated by a small Saiyan boy, and then the lead Nazi, who is never to be shown yet, is like, "Well, I'll show you," and decides to turn himself into a long-lasting robot, and decides to make an army of other robots, but then does not factor in that maybe some teenagers of the new generation will not be cool with the Nazi shit and they'll just kill him.
I mean, that's what they were hoping for. Like I know some people like to rag on like, a lot of stuff that Super did and, rag on certain pieces of the plot not being the most coherent or even going as far as to say this is a plot hole. But overall, the long-lasting just impact that Akira Toriyama's work has had on just the culture has been, I mean, it's unparalleled. We haven't even talked about Arale and her gag stuff that was going on and how she had
Yeah,
such a huge influence on just culture. Look, when you can say that your character had a direct influence on Mario, it's March 10th, by the way, Mario Day. Wasn't really supposed to be planned this way. We didn't plan it. This is just how it worked out. But literally,
yep.
Mario, who is not only the number one face in all of gaming, not only is he one of the only video game characters to have his own day that's recognized internationally, that Mario, part of his DNA can be sourced back to some Akira Toriyama work. That's crazy. That's insane. Give the man his credit. Give the man his due. And I hate that we do this. I hate that we do this, where especially with artists. It's when they die that's when everybody wants to give them their flowers. But I feel like the Dragon Ball Z community has been doing a good job while he was alive supporting his
It's
work.
just the kids. It's just the kids. That's all right. We see you. We remember what you've been saying about Goku, about Dragon Ball, about how it's just powering up, all that stuff. We know exactly what you've been saying, and you said it on Twitter, so we can pull up the tweets. That's right. We can do it to you.
Or that one person was like, Mr. Popo is a racist blackface character. And then like when you clicked on their profile, it said they're doing a Pokemon Nuzlocke of Fire Red and Leaf Green. I said, the game with Jinx in it? Nah.
Listen.
Nah, no way.
I'm all for, the fact that society's progressed to a point where, we want to be more civil with each other and, decrease the violence and all that good jazz. But there are some moments where you need to let people have fun because holy shit, that was the perfect moment of, hey, this guy's coming out and trying to be like, hey, I see you're all talking about this and I'm mad about it because I don't want him to have all the attention. So I want attention. So, hey, why don't you guys hate that guy for Mr. Popo? This character is a racist depiction of blah blah blah, and everyone's like, "Yo, shut the hell up!"
And it's
right now. It's
and
simple.
then like you found out that it was actually of a god from like what was it, India, and it was like it was actually based on this, and then it was like, well, what about Mr. Black? And it's like, well, actually, they came out with a modern redesign of Mr. Black due to potential people thinking it might be cultural insensitivities, and look at him from what was it, the Dragon Ball, not Daima, but the Dragon Ball superhero, the Gohan movie.
Oh yeah.
It's like, yeah, you see, like definitely he cleaned it up. So like there was acknowledgement to do better, and he did better. So that being said, you move past that, you got to think about the fact that there are some people who saw that he passed, and their first thought was, how do I make this about me? Not, oh man, RIP, how do I make this about me? Because some people went as far as to say, listen, Dragon Ball Z, that's what you guys are talking about? I can't believe you guys would allow a devout racist to do that when people like me have been suffering for so long. Where's my recognition? It's like, shut up, bro.
You're not the main character.
This is not your story.
Listen,
You've not put up any generational numbers at all.
a lot of you will truly mature once you realize that not only are you not the main character, there is no main character in the real world.
Oh, they're not ready to hear that. That's not a conversation starter.
Well, it's a conversation.
You've ruined their centerpiece. You fool.
Listen, if it's a conversation ender for you, who cares? Like, you are not the main character. There is no main character. Like, we're all just trying to appreciate someone who provided some of the best media to ever, bless the world. Right. And they're allowed to do that because it's obviously a cultural phenomenon. I mean, you had Shannon Sharp doing a segment on this, like with Vegeta
No,
So
no, man, don't be racist, bro. That's the wrong black man. That's Stephen A. Smith.
yeah, you're right.
That's cul-de-sac head. He got half of Vegeta's hairline.
You know what? He kind of does. Yeah, Stephen A. Smith tried to do like a little segment on it, and people were, I don't know, some people were like, "Why even do it? Like if
You
you
know
don't even
what?
know,
You know, I'm
know the
gonna do it
series."
for Piccolo, man. It weighs 15 kilo.
Well,
Toss it to the side. But no, like for real though. Speaking of people trying to make things about them, did you see the guy who was sitting up there talking about, listen, like some of y'all grew up watching that nerdy shit. That's cool. I was outside banging, you know what I'm saying, doing stuff I wasn't supposed to do, and I got
nobody
shot.
cares. Shot.
Yeah, you didn't see, bro. They were cooking that man. That
You
man
know
said
what?
that man said I was
When you said
outside.
banging, I thought you, I thought
No,
you
no,
meant
no, no,
something
no,
else.
no, no,
No,
no.
it did. It's in my head now, but like it didn't click that way at first.
He's like, yeah, I was banging when I shouldn't have. You know what I'm saying? I ended up getting shot at 15, and then somebody posted the picture. Oh, so this was you at 15? It was Trunks when he got shot by Cell.
Damn.
And it was just like, come on, bro. You was out here saying, yeah, y'all were out here dweebing, playing Dragon Ball Z and watching Super Saiyans. I was out here getting shot in the chest. You think getting shot makes you cool? You think oh my life, critical condition. Oh, but don't snitch. That's supposed to make, yeah, man, you up right now. You ahead of the game. Look, there are plenty of people who have died for nothing other than the fact that somebody else might have called them a real nigga. To them, hearing those two words said about and having that affixed to their name means more to them than a full-time job.
Yeah.
Than starting a family. Than having a hobby that actually pays the bills. That's insane to me. But hey, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, man, shout out to Akira Toriyama, man. Definitely. I don't think many of us would be the men today that are the women that we are, the people that we are today without a lot of his attributions and contributions to the world. I mean, there are so many people that we know have been inspired to work out because Goku exists.
Yeah. A whole generation, it seems.
Some people got New Year's resolutions just based off the fact that, you know what? Let me get my shit together. What would Goku do? Unfortunately, this is a problem I can't fight, so I gotta figure out how to beat this. And yeah, man. Just know if you have anybody who you feel as though you can reach out and you can support their creations, make sure you take time to do that while they're here. Because you never know. Sometimes just getting that, you know, that dopamine hit, that serotonin from seeing your kind message might inspire them to make the next hit today. I'm just
True.
saying. Because there are some
I
people
mean,
who I know who, you know, are great artists. I don't want to say their name. Some of y'all have seen me retweet some of their art over the past few months, but they have been talking about they wanted to show their art to the world since like the pandemic. But they just kept saying, but I don't think anybody's really gonna like it. And it took a lot of coaxing, you know, giving them words of affirmation. But nah, man, you're talented. You're good. You can do this. And now they finally do it. Now they're doing collabs with people. And it's like, you see? And then they thanked me. And I said, don't thank me. I should be thanking you for actually believing in yourself for 25 seconds. And then allowing them 25 seconds to come into, hey, now you're working with people. Now you're getting paid for this. I can't take credit for it because Lord knows I cannot put pen to paper like that to draw. All right. You did all the talent. You just needed someone to push you in the back and say, come on now. You got it. And it doesn't have to just be art. There's somebody out there who thinks they can't be a microbiologist. There's someone out there who probably thinks, oh man, I'm not a good video editor. Oh man, I don't know. I don't think the trade school life's for me. But they've always had an interest in like taking things apart, seeing how they work, fixing things. Like there's so many different avenues where you could be like, come on, bro. I just, you know, I believe in you. And sometimes just hearing those words, that's enough to just get that snowball effect rolling. And all of a sudden, they doing everything that you thought that they could do and everything they thought they couldn't do. And all it took was some elbow grease. I'm not saying manipulate them now. All right, I know some of y'all hard of hearing and like misconstruing words. But yeah, definitely something that y'all should be able to work on. Man, shout out to Akira Toriyama. And to be fair, we've lost a lot of mangaka over the past, what, 5 years? Like the dude who made Berserk's gone, the guy who made Yu-Gi-Oh's dead.
Yeah, and a lot of it is to the drawbacks of being a mangaka. Like, what is it? Toriyama died of hematoma, I think. And he fucking
And it was right back when he said, I'm about to get on the grind.
yeah, that's the thing. He's like, I'm going back to the grind, and it sounds like it killed him. And that's not an uncommon story for mangaka. Which I know a lot of people are saying this needs to change, but that's a whole system that's going to take a lot of time to change.
And
so
the other thing that I will say, like, because obviously it is sad because when you're at the age of 68 and then having to say the phrase "the grind," but I forget the name of the guy who, because when it comes to Dragon Ball Super, the manga, Toriyama just kind of storyboards some things.
yeah,
And there's some other people who are in charge of getting things going. Same thing with Daima. So Daima's still probably going to be in good hands. And Super, the base direction of the ending has been basically confirmed that they're good there. Now, anything that happens after that, it's going to be kind of the same situation that we talked about earlier with Rooster Teeth and when was it Monty passed, and then Red versus Blue kind of went. It went places. For all we know, that maybe that's what he had down, but someone had sent me a clip where apparently they have like a fairy sprite that was kind of like Navi that was telling about events of the future that was based off of something called like the Snoot, and they went to a pizza shop, and then the world got shattered, and I was like, I don't think that's what the plot was originally going to be, but assalamu alaikum, you got it.
well, Monty was a battle director, so
yeah.
As far as the story goes, it was out of his hands whether or not he was alive or not, where that was going. Same with Ruby, but apparently with Ruby, it was like Monty would develop these like cool scenes of things happening, and they would like write around it, which. But
I was gonna say that sounds like the Marvel Cinematic Universe problem.
Yeah, well, Marvel Cinematic Universe problem is that these people are not just reading the source material and being like, "Hey, why don't we just do this?" Like, why don't we just do this and change a few things so that it works out with like the real world? Instead, they're like, we have to have a secret invasion thing. So, whatever. Figure out how you want to do it.
It's like, why are y'all doing all the arcs, machine gunning them, and then trying to tell us at the same time it's a marathon, not a sprint?
Insane.
Like that's the part that I've never understood about the situation. Like, you machine gun all like the major plot points from the comics back to back, but you want this to last like 30 years. Like, you had time. You could have spread this out. What you should have done is, if you want to have a new core of heroes, you should have spent the last 6 years building up nothing but them. Making them feel important, giving them things to actually do, giving them maybe not Avengers level threats, but just like what you did with Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage. You had just small little trios doing something for once. Just for the one time. You could have Shang-Chi need information from Wong, and then Benedict Cumberbatch and Doctor Strange comes over there and he's like, hey, so you know about this magic? Yes, it's Chinese in origin. That's all you, just little things, just little tiny things like that make the universe feel like the good people are working together. I'm not even saying they gotta fight the big bad. You could have just had him go to Doctor Strange's little temple, pull up and is like, how did you find this place? Well, many of my ancestors also knew about magic and sorcery and blah, 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 blah. And you can fill in some dots, do whatever you need to do. A good example, like, how they had Ironheart in the Black Panther 2?
Mm-hmm.
Here's what should have happened. Ironheart should have had her own thing first. Maybe not a movie if you want to have a 6-episode miniseries where she's just basically doing low-level Batman shit. Well, she's got like some busted MK suit that's not really that great, but she does like low-level crime. You could even make it like a small comedy kind of thing where she kind of happy-go-luckily stuff. I know. Don't say it. I know they're doing that now, but no,
No,
they
no,
should
no,
have.
no. I'm saying that was the original idea, but they switched things up after Mr. Chadwick Boseman passed away. But
Well,
yeah,
even
like
then, even after he had passed
also I think their
away,
show
that's just
got canceled. I don't know yet, but like,
well, like they
yeah,
should have done something to build the foundation of make the character relatable. She's young, and then like at the end of the series, she when she goes to college, she can be like, oh yeah, we need you to work on this program, blah 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 blah. So now you've already established her suit. You've already established that she knows how to use it. That she wants to be a hero. Maybe not be a full-fledged hero, but wants to be a hero, and that she's smart. She's competent, and then just plant the seed of she may be messing with things that she may not understand when she builds the tracker to go find the rare resources in the ocean. So when his name's not Ocean Master, I don't forgot his name.
Hmm? Namor,
Yeah, Namor. Yeah. I don't know why I want to call him Namor the Ocean Master. No, that's DC. that's Aquaman's brother, different man. Anyways, so that guy is like, hey, Namor shows up. They could talk about the Americans are doing this in our waters, and da, da, da. You don't think they'll come for you? It was invented by this person, and then you could have Shuri go there, and then you could have a whole thing where it's just like, so are you building this monstrosity to take me down? And she would like, excuse me? So you mean to tell me that you're tracking down rare resources like vibranium, and you just so happen to have a suit down there with vibranium in it? You think you could take over my people? Then you could have them have the whole clear up the misunderstanding. It's like, I was never going to do that. What? Then you find out about the American government, blah, 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 blah. You had a whole thing there where you didn't have to like try to force her entire character arc in one act of a movie in somebody else's movie. Like, it's just because it's hard to really attach yourself to a character when you only see the character once every 4 years. Because that's what a lot of these characters have become. You don't see them with any level of consistency because they don't work together. So when someone else has got a movie, you don't see them until they get their own movie.
She didn't even need to have an Iron Man suit in Black Panther 2, to be honest.
I
She could
know,
have
she
just
didn't.
been. All right, she did. She did. She did have one, but like,
no, she did. But she, like I
she
said,
didn't need to have one. Yeah,
the
I
way
get what
things
you're
have
saying.
gone, the way things went, she didn't need one in that movie.
She didn't need to be in like a lot of the movie, but she could have just been in the background helping Shuri, develop her own Black Panther suit or whatever the fuck that way. And then in her show, she would have an Iron Man suit, or at the end they tease the suit, they're making of the suit, whatever the hell. They could have done those things, and instead they just kind of like they're like, oh, what if we give her a suit and like her have a triumphant moment to do a thing?
You could have added to the post-credit scene. Like, I know they wanted to do thing with setting up Chadwick Boseman's son, T'Challa's son. But what you could have also had she has to go back, for her college classes. And then she was just like, man, all this technology and I can't take anything home. And then Shuri could have said, who said you couldn't take anything home? And it just zooms in on the suit. There,
Yeah.
boom. Problem solved. GG's. But I digress. I don't want to make this let's shit on someone else's art after we just praise somebody else's. But like I said, there are ways to do things to make things better for the long term. And I just feel like Marvel has squandered a lot of opportunities. Could they save it? Look, trust me, nothing. There's no such thing as an IP or a series of IPs, especially anything that can be connected to Spider-Man, where we could say, yeah, it's dead for real. It's GG's. You want to know how I know? Batman survived the Bat credit card. That's all I'm saying. Like, if you could go from, what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age! Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze. And you could still have Mr. Freeze be a somewhat decent villain in various other pieces of Batman media. Yeah, it's okay. You could have moments where you go, we may have messed up there, but we fixed it. The only time I can say something is yabba dabba dead is when you look at Dragon Ball Evolution.
Yeah, let's leave that alone. Let's not try to do another live action Dragon Ball movie. Technology has not gotten there yet, and that's for good reason. All right.
I mean, it'll get there someday, though.
Someday, but not today.
Don't worry. When the algorithm takes over and it's written by Terminator Genesis Bot 3000, we will see you on the next episode of the Clout.WAV podcast.
Like, if you want to do an animated thing, cool, go for it. But like, not live action, not right now. Look, Avatar tried, and they still failed. You know, it was only good enough to make you want to watch the original. So
I just hate how when adaptations go out of their way to take what the interpretation was and play with the interpretation. Like, I get it. You want to make an adaptation, fine. But at some time, you got to start scratching your head and just start going, all right, man, what are we doing here? What are we really looking at?
yep,
Because I'm sure you've seen the Agni Kai fight that they had between, Zuko and his father. And it made
very
it look
weird.
more like the father was more like, I'm just doing what a Fire Lord has to do. It brings me no. It's like you look at the original, and that man was just like, get the fuck out of my face. You're
Right.
you're not my son.
He's like, you're weak. How dare you care for those men? They failed. They knew exactly what they were supposed to get. You know, that kind of shit. And someone had proposed this, that the guys who what is it? I think in the live action series, the guys who are on Zuko's like crew are actually the dudes who he's like saved by doing the Agni Kai. Versus the original series, so it was just like random dudes. I like, little changes like that. Like
Yeah.
that adds more like emotion to, his backstory and
It
stuff.
adds
That makes
more
it,
weight.
yeah. But everything else is like, what the heck? Like they made Zuko seem like he just, I don't know. They made it like interesting, but also like too much Fire Lord Ozai in there. Like too much of him being like, yeah, you're my son, and it pains me that I have to defeat you like this, but I also have to punish you and banish you. It's like the same guy who cares about fighting his son is not going to be like, now you can never come home. Like that's just not going to happen. So no one wanted to make Fire Lord Ozai the bad guy, and they also didn't want to make Zuko the super bad guy, which he's allowed to do shitty things and then have the redemption arc afterwards. Especially considering
I don't feel like a lot of people really like the people who are writing. I don't know why, but it's like they forgot how to write redeemable characters, but they also want everyone to be redeemable.
it's weird. It's
Like, I feel
weird.
like if they have a live action adaptation of Dragon Ball, they'll find a way to make Frieza redeemable.
Well, sir, I don't know if you haven't seen some of the latest things in the Dragon Ball mythos, but the Frieza is now
No.
a
I don't mean
redeemed
that.
Joker.
I don't mean like that. I'm talking like that man is standing on business next to Krillin talking about you're my boy. Yeah, I know I shanked you that one time, and I blew you up that other time, but this time, dap me up. Like, no.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like the way
So,
like the way that like some of these characters be redeemed now, it's like they don't even want their characters to be evil.
yeah, and it's weird because like I guess maybe the writers also hated Katara because she's not really in the show. There's some other character who is a woman who does air or water bend and is around Aang a lot, and then eventually kind of likes him a little bit, but Katara is not there. It's very
Which is weird
strange.
because a lot of people were saying like, oh, they didn't like they thought they were over course correcting because they were like, yeah, so Sokka's not gonna have a misogyny arc, but then they just cut out one of the essential lady characters from the series. Not, obviously in its entirety, but like she is not prevalent. But she's there for a cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
She's there for a nice cuppa. But anyways, not to drag this episode on. Yeah, Akira Toriyama, shout out to you. Rest in peace, rest in power, all that stuff.
Yep.
And
Very
hopefully
quick. How do you feel about some people being like, "Rest in power" is a black thing. You're not allowed to say it if you're not black.
Okay. Here's how I feel about it. I do not care. I don't give a flying fuck. because I have shit to do. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I understand that you're like, but language, it's sacred, but it's also meant to be shared. Because otherwise, there are a lot of people who are speaking English right now who you're a cultural appropriator, and I hope that you get sent back to wherever you came. But then you realize, oh shit, that's like 99.9% of the people who are living in this fucking country, much less the world. Yes. Would you imagine that? At the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter one iota. Now, if you're somehow a weirdo who's just saying rest in power just because you think it spites black people, it doesn't. But if that is your intention, then yes, obviously you're still an asshole because your intention is what matters. But someone who's just saying it because like, oh, I saw some people saying that and I just thought it was a cool thing that sounded cool. Who gives a shit? It is not that important.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about hairstyles. If I see some Asian girl who's got like little fucking hair puffs, I don't give a shit, bro. I don't give a damn. I see a black dude who's got like a nice perm and all his shit straight. I don't. When Jimmy Butler had the Fallout Boy haircut, were we going, wallahi? He's cooning. Uncle Tom. No. It's not. It's not what you. When you found out that the lead vocalist for In Living Color was a. You were going, wallahi. No. Not white. No. You weren't doing that. Hell, some of the people who made some of your favorite classics from the 70s in funk, you went out and you found out that was a white guy singing that shit? So like, come on, bro. We know we share culture. We know we share language. Let's not just act obtuse about it because I want to get clicks on Twitter. Let's not do this. Because not only do you look dumb, you can spawn a whole comment section full of mentally defective drones who I can't be asked to deal with. But I digress. We will see you guys next time. And until then, play Helldivers 2 or something, man. It's a dope game. Oh.
Yeah.
Until you get suplexed by a bug.
All right.